Professional baseball. While it may be an American pastime, it isn't a known media dominator in the United States. The Super Bowl, NBA Finals, and even the College Football National Championship regularly get more views. Worldwide, it has devoted fans and players all over the world. Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Australia, and even Israel are some of the teams that are being fielded in the World Baseball Classic this year. None of these countries may be more devoted to the sport as Japan. In Japan, it's one of the biggest sporting events in their history. The first WBC final was watched by 60 million people in Japan. That's nearly half of their population. While in the United States, the Super Bowl was watched by less than a third of our population. Japanese baseball is a completely different world from American baseball. America's pastime was introduced to Japan over 150 years ago by an American professor, and in that time, baseball has had a long time to develop its own culture and identity away from the U.S. Japanese youth baseball is insane, and sometimes teams practice for as much as 8 hours a day, and they focus all their time and attention on it. It's considered to be a job. Japan dominates youth baseball. But interestingly enough, even with all of that talent, there's only 7 active MLB players from Japan at the moment, as of last year. The most famous of them all is Shohei Ohtani, and he has changed the game of baseball in ways that we haven't seen since the days of Babe Ruth. He pitches like a Cy Young winner, and he smashes home runs with the best game's power hitters. He will probably become the first athlete in North American sports in history to sign a contract worth over $500 million when he hits free agency next winter. He's introduced an American team, the Anaheim Angels, to the Japanese media market, and the Angels are starting to take notice. Japanese fans flock to Anaheim, California to see Ohtani play. The combination of the west coast of the U.S. being the closest geographically to Japan and Japanese tourists flocking to see him anyway because he's so popular is leading to a ton of money being raked in by the Angels during the summer months. Now, baseball is popular in the summer anyway, but there's no doubt that Japanese tourism is contributing to a huge part of the money the Angels are making in the summer. And the Angels have taken notice of all this foreign fan base that they now have because of Shohei Ohtani, and they're making efforts to appeal to Japanese fans flocking to the team. This screenshot of an Angels game last year is a pretty good example. All of this Japanese advertising in a game as uniquely as American as baseball is showing how sports can transcend national borders and bring people together. MLB is now clearly being sold to Japan, because thanks to players like Ohtani, there's a demand for it, and there's a lot of money to be made. And the investing is even going both ways. Fanatics and Nike have taken their sports models to Japanese baseball, and they've partnered with the Yomiuri Giants, who are the most popular professional baseball team in Japan. American companies clearly see gains to be made in Japanese baseball, and it could even eventually lead to Japanese baseball becoming popular in America. America's pastime being introduced to America from Japan with the help of an American company. Sometimes the global media landscape can be a beautiful, confusing thing. And it's not going to be stopping there. With more foreign-born players than ever being in the show, we may even start to see things like ads in Spanish at Astros games, because they have a huge number of Cuban prospects in their system, and Yuli Gurriel, a Cuban, was their star first baseman for years. Or ads in Korean at Padres games, since Ha-Seong Kim is a rising star out there in San Diego. As professional baseball grows its fan base around the world, the way advertising is done is going to change for sure.